This is the Yashica 24 and it's one of the best cameras with an asterisk because best is a personal definition. So defining the best camera is definitely a difficult task. To me, when you say best, it doesn't necessarily mean the best features, the best lens, stuff that is technically superior. Best means you want to use it. It's not the camera that takes a good image, it's the person that takes a good image. So when defining the best camera, it's whatever inspires you to go out shooting. And the TLR does that so goddamn well for me. Whether it's the waist level viewfinder, square format, simple boxy design, I absolutely love this camera. So yes, the title might be a little bit clickbait, you know, the best camera probably wasn't released in 1965, but to me it was, and it's this baby right here, the Yashica 24, my absolute favourite pride and joy. Alright, let's talk specs. The Yashica 24 comes in with an 80mm f3.5 lens, which, you know, is pretty alright. It shoots medium format 6x6 negatives, allowing 12 images a roll. This camera in particular was also designed around 220 film, which was meant to shoot double, but that film kind of fell off. The camera focuses with this dial here and can focus up to 1 meter, and also has these little hooks at the front which allow you to attach these unique lenses for the system, which looks pretty cool. I purchased this camera for around £200 with 3 sets of lenses, this telephoto one, a wide angle one, and also a macro one, which is a lot smaller and less impressive looking than these. And it also came with some other goodies like lens filters, a camera bag, and some free film, so it was a good deal overall. When focusing through the viewfinder with the TLR, you have a pop-up screen which allows you to get a better look, and it's why when you see people taking self-portraits, they're normally looking quite closely into the camera. Speaking of self-portraits, that's a perfect segue to talk about some of the images I've taken on this thing. If you're no stranger to this channel, you'll probably know I absolutely love Vivian Mai's work, and she used a TLR predominantly in her street photography and self-portraiture. Vivian Mai's self-portraits have been a massive inspiration in my work, and if you want to hear more about her and the format itself, you should definitely watch my video essay on the square format. It's a really good video, I think, so check that out, linked in the description below, or in whichever corner I put the little eye thing in. But being predominantly inspired by Vivian Mai's self-portraits, I've definitely taken a lot of really cool looking ones. There's this series I shot on expired film which look really cool and alternative, you know, the backing paper is burnt through and made a really cool lo-fi looking effect. Other ones involving my shadow or just reflections in different vehicles and stuff, you know, I really like how they look. These ones here were literally taken the other week and I think they look really cool as well. Haven't posted these anywhere yet, but you know, you're seeing them here first, you're seeing them, they're good self-portraits. And overall I think the TLR is the perfect camera for kind of self-portraits and continuous self-documentation. It's medium format, which I absolutely love, and it being so portable and easy to carry around with such a unique waist level view compared to, you know, your normal viewfinders for the eye, you get a much more grounded and real perspective through this camera. Now, I'm not a completely self-obnoxious asshole. I haven't just taken self-portraits on this thing, I've taken regular portraits as well. Yes, I have friends, I know it's crazy. I took these portraits of my friend Matt on some similarly expired film which has backing paper burning, which looks really nice and really cool. There's a kind of cool ruggish Urban Decay behind him in his leather jacket, I think it looks really cool. I also took these portraits of Matt and his partner Jan more recently. They collect historical clothing together and they look really nice together in these clothes. And something about shooting vintage style portraits on an outdated format like film is really nice and charming. I also realised I haven't shown many colour photos yet, so here's proof I do shoot colour film. Another project I did with my friend Matt, God, I take a lot of photos of my friend Matt. Well, these ones where he was dressed up in this really cool chemical suit and gas mask, and some of these images are the best I've ever taken. This TLR cooked with those images, oh my god. And similar to that, these images of my flatmate Zoe, who's also wearing a gas mask in some of these images. They look really cool. The TLR cooked again so hard. And I guess I did as well, you know, it's a 50-50 love-hate relationship. So this camera's creative ability for portraits, self-portraits, what else can it do? Is it good at landscapes and environments? Of course, I'm actually falling. A lot of my work explores this theme of urban decay, you know, where man-made meets nature and the collide between that. And I think pylons in the Midlands are a really good example of that. And I've taken a lot of images of pylons in the Midlands with this camera. These are funky, I just take them for fun, I think they look really cool, and you know, the TLR does not miss a single time capturing these images. I also went to an abandoned power station. There's a whole video on that you can check out in the description below where I used this camera and I got some amazing images. And you know, one thing about the waist level viewfinder, you can create really topographic images like I've done with these in Birmingham. Also, to sprinkle in a bit more colour images to prove I don't just shoot black and white film, are these really cool ones of like abandoned farm vehicles. I also take the occasional kind of street image, I guess, like these, which I think are really pretty, but I don't really think fit into a more larger body of work I'm constantly creating. And finally, how could I talk about my work without talking about some of my alternate practices? If you don't know, I'm a bit of an alternative artist. I do a bit of film photography destruction, you know, that can involve pouring bleach, growing crystals on top of the negatives, anything that kind of just decays the emotion and manipulates the image. I do a lot of that, and a lot of it with the TLR. I call this series Chemical Dismay, which is literally as it sounds. I pour a bunch of chemicals and dismay on top of the negatives, and really interesting stuff happens. Some of these images are really abstract, while others are more noticeable of what they are and what's going on, and I think they look really cool. I took these images ages ago around Brighton Pier, and the emotion is so decayed from how expired the film is, and the effects created from them are just so eerie and interesting. Going back to some self-portraits I took, I grew salt crystals and rust on some of the negatives, which add a really abstract, interesting look to them. Obviously, the alternate work I just showed there isn't really dependent on... Someone just looked in my room while I was talking. Oh. Obviously, the images I've just shown aren't dependent on using this camera, it's more my alternate process after, but I think, you know, the camera is still part of an interesting process in creating those images. This is personally to me the best camera I have, and it's one of my favourites I've ever used. I've shown things like the Mamiya 7 and the Mamiya RZ67, and those are both incredible tools for creating images, but they don't make me feel anything like this does. Whether it's that connection to Vivian Maya and how I literally want to be her and revolve my life around her, or is it the square format, or is it how cute the camera is with its little twin lens reflex? That's another point I didn't even bring up in this video. This camera is so unique looking with its twin lens reflex. One lens does the taking, the other lens does the viewing, which you see through the viewfinder in the top. And it makes a really interesting looking camera, which I definitely get the most questions about when I'm holding this out in public. You know, people sit there and be like, why does it look like that? Why doesn't it look like a normal camera? Why am I not just shooting digital? Anyway, if you like this video, thoughts and prayers, thank you for watching. This was a high energy video, I don't know, this is my new room. I just wanted to make a video, and the TLR is something that I wanted to talk about for ages. You know, it's a camera I love, and I thought if I just go in here, no script, start rambling, let's see what I can make. Thanks for watching as always, gang. Like the video if you liked the video, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, Matt out.